Hi everyone, my name is Mackenzie Nordone and I am a support group host here at NOCD. I'm also diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder and went through ERP therapy with NOCD years ago. I want to take a little bit of time today to talk to you about the cost of not getting OCD treatment. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about what OCD is. For those of you who don't know, OCD is when someone experiences an intrusive thought, image, or urge, an obsession. And in order to get rid of the anxiety they feel because of that, they participate in a compulsion. A compulsion is anything we do mentally or physically to get rid of the anxiety the obsession's brought on. The gold standard treatment for OCD is exposure response therapy. We expose ourselves to the things we fear, and we learn to sit with and face those fears, and we learn that we can manage and tolerate the anxiety around them. Now, let's talk a little bit about the cost of not getting OCD treatment. I was diagnosed with OCD the summer after 8th grade. I was sent back to talk therapy and put on medication. I continued to suffer and struggle until I was 28 years old. There are times in my life where OCD was really loud, and I think about those times. It was college, when I got married, when I had kids, and I just kept continuing to live in the chaos and thought I had control over something that really I didn't. And it honestly came to a tipping point, and I realized that OCD was suffocating everyone around me. My compulsions, not only did OCD want me to participate in compulsions, but I was forcing other people around me to participate as well. My core fear is death. And I had become so afraid of dying, or so afraid of my loved ones dying, that I wasn't living. I came to the point where I realized the only thing scarier than exposure response therapy was continuing to live the way I was living. I was struggling to function as a human being, let alone a mom, a daughter, a spouse, a friend, you name it. ERP therapy, it didn't just change my life, it saved it. And I think, one of the biggest things people say, it's scary. It is scary. The scariest thing we can do is the exact opposite of what OCD is telling us we have to do. It is so scary. But I think we come to a point where we have to choose our hard. OCD is hard. It is scary. Exposure response therapy is hard and it can be scary. But one has purpose. One gets us out of that pit. The other keeps us there. I say this a lot if you're in groups with me or have ever been in groups with me before, which, by the way, NOCD, for our members, we have amazing support groups. I have said this before and I will continue to say it again. We can have all the resources in the world. We can have all the support in the world. But until we commit to doing the hard things, until we decide, you know what, I am going to face my fears, I am going to fully commit to exposure response therapy, I'm going to do the hard things, that is where we see the progress. The moment that I started to do that, the moment that I pushed myself to do the hard things, that is where I saw all that progress. Nobody ever sat me down before I did exposure response therapy and said, Mackenzie, you are going to gain so much confidence. You're going to learn to be self-aware. You are going to learn to stay present. But I learned all of those things. I don't think that I had an ounce of self-confidence in my body before exposure response therapy. I truly think that OCD siphoned that from me. And I learned through facing my fears and sitting with the uncertainty that I was capable of doing hard things, that I was capable of sitting with uncertainty and tolerating uncertainty. I have grown so much as an individual. It's the cost is quality of life. I think about, it was this bittersweet feeling. I started exposure response therapy around 28 and I'm 32 now. So I think around 30, I had this moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I truly think this is the first time in my life that I know who I am as an individual, that I feel confident in myself, that I feel self-aware, and I feel like I can stand on my own two feet. And I say bittersweet because, yes, it hurts to realize that for 28 years, I didn't have that. But it is a beautiful thing to know from 28 on that I do have that. And it's a reminder that while we can't control our past, we do have control over our future. I really hope that you guys enjoyed sitting and hanging out and talking with me today. When I think about, bottom line, the cost of not getting OCD treatment, it truly is what I said earlier, and that is the quality of life. There is something so amazingly beautiful about living a confident, amazing life where I'm able to stay present and I'm not checking out mentally, right? And ruminating, and I'm stuck in my own head. And yes, there is not a cure for OCD, right? So we have to manage it. And does my OCD show up? Absolutely. But I know that I am confident in the tools that I have, and I lean in and I use those tools, and I continue to prove to myself that I can do hard things. And you can too. If you're interested in booking an appointment with NOCD, you can go to our website and schedule a free 15-minute call with one of our team members who will be happy to help you and start you on your journey to getting connected to care. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you.